What is going on, everyone? My name is the California Cougar, and welcome back to another episode of the Survivor Season Series Review. This is the 11th episode, which means we are going to be reviewing the 11th season of Survivor. That, of course, is Survivor Guatemala. Now, Survivor Guatemala is often referred to as the Forgotten Season because a lot of people forget about it. Like, not much of the cast was remembered. Hell, only 2 people in the entire cast have ever been brought back for another season. More on that in a little bit. But yeah, like, not a lot of people were brought back. It's often ranked like mid to low tier. It's just kind of a forgotten season. And I rewatched it recently, and actually, it's not a bad season at all. It's actually pretty good, if I'm being perfectly honest here. It's not really one of my favorite seasons, but I would say it's like average. I would say it's like better than average, for sure. It's definitely one of the better seasons in like the first 20 seasons of the show, I think. So yeah, let's get right into it. First of all, the cast. Now, as I said earlier, only 2 people from this cast were ever brought back for another season. Those being Stephanie and Danny, who was brought back for Winners at War. And Stephanie was brought back for Heroes vs. Villains. Bobby John was a returning player that season, but he hasn't returned since. But other than that, nobody on this cast has ever been brought back for another season. Which is honestly kind of surprising because a lot of the people on this season were great characters. Like, for example, Amy in the pre-merge. I thought she was a fantastic character. She twisted her freaking ankle, got smacked around in a bunch of challenges, and still managed to kick a lot of ass in a couple of them, especially the ball rolling challenge, where they have to roll a ball across the field into another team's goal. Like, she was badly injured, and she still, like, carried her team like a badass that she is. So, yeah, she was definitely a great character. She was also really funny as well. You also have, you have, like, as I said, Danny and Stephanie were great. You also have Gary, who pretended not to be a football quarterback, even though Danny saw right through it. But he never mentioned it to anyone, and neither did Danny, so did anyone ever know? Not until the end of the show, I guess. But yeah, I thought he was a very strong strategic player that got kind of screwed at the merge. Jamie, he was kind of the cocky, arrogant asshat who everyone wanted off because he was so crazy. And he was so paranoid about everything. Like, he really wanted to win, and he thought he could do it. It was so satisfying to see him get blindsided. It really was. His blindside was one of the best in the show. And the way he reacted to it as well, amazing. And classy as well. Like, absolutely amazing. Yeah, sorry, Bobby John, but he does have class in that sense. So, yeah, like, him getting voted out was satisfying. You have Brandon. Brandon was the farm guy. He was kind of funny as well, and he was good at challenges as well. Like, the whole Nakum tribe, like, really the only people that are kind of forgettable are like the first 4 or 5 people voted out. Like Morgan, Brianna, Brooke. You don't really remember those names that much. Jim, hell of a guy. You have Margaret, the nurse, who kind of revived the big guys back to hell. Blake, he was the golden boy with all his crazy stories and all that. You also have, like, in the post-merge, you had, like, Rafe. I can't believe Rafe was never brought back. He was one of the better players of the season. Lydia, she was okay. Didn't really care for her too much, but she was alright. And then, of course, Cindy, who I thought was very underrated. Like, the whole car curse thing with her. We'll get into that in a little bit. Like, her whole thing with animals and all that. I thought she was a very strong player. Her bond with everyone was really good as well. And, of course, we can't forget about one of the greatest Survivor characters in the first 15 seasons, Judd. This guy, like, this dude was hilarious. He was awesome. And he was funny as well. Like, saying man every 5 seconds. The way he got voted out, his reaction to that, priceless. Hope y'all get bit by a freaking crocodile, scumbags. Just flips off the tribe. That was awesome. like his jury speech at the end, him just ripping into Steph. Like, honestly, the most lackluster characters this season, aside from the first 4 that were voted out, were Bobby, John, and Stephanie. Like, yeah, they were brought back because they were the final 2 survivors of the Oolong tribe, but then they were brought back, and neither of them really did all that much. Stephanie was just kind of there. Everyone looked up to her because she was Stephanie. She's one of the strongest girls to ever play the game. But yeah, she didn't do anything for me. She was actually kind of a villain at points. I didn't really like her at that much. And she whined and complained a lot. Especially when it came to like the food situation and all that. Like, remember during that pot challenge when Lydia like busted her pots, Stephanie got all upset because Lydia was like, I want to eat. You've eaten 3 times. And then Stephanie was like, I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm done hearing about it. Like, she was a whiner this season. It's no wonder she almost got swept at the final vote. And yeah, Danny was good. She was a good underdog. She's not as good as Chris, I don't think, from Vanuatu, but she was a solid underdog nonetheless. I think she played a very strong game at the end. Yeah, poor Rafe. Like, if Rafe hadn't told Danny, like, I want to remove you from any promises that you made, like, you don't have to keep him anymore, then, like, I feel like if he hadn't done that, Danny would have taken him to the end and he would have won. But so yeah, I feel like he essentially gifted her the win, and then he voted for Stephanie anyway because he was bitter about Danny voting her out. It's like, dude, you told her that she doesn't have to keep her promise, basically. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. But anyway, that's really all I have to say about the cast. The challenges were pretty cool as well. Let's talk about the setting. This setting is insane. I can't believe they haven't done anything like this since. At least not that I remember. But yeah, they were in the jungles of Guatemala on a lake, first of all. Like, it's nice to get away from the islands a little bit. And they were on a freaking Mayan temple. I mean, how cool is that? They were at a Mayan temple. So, yeah, I thought the setting was amazing. Like, I don't think any season has done anything like that since, where they camped literally at the base of a Mayan temple. Crazy. So, yeah, there's that. And then, of course, the big moments of the season. I mentioned Lydia with the pots. You also have Cindy with the car curse. I talked about that a little bit. Let's talk about that. So, in Cindy's situation, like, let's say you're put in Cindy's situation, right? She wins a car. She has the opportunity to either keep the car or give 4 cars to the other players in the game. There were 5 people in the game at the time. If I'm Cindy, I'm taking that car and I'm running with it. I think she made the right choice. Because, like, let's say that you give the 4 cars to the other people and give up your car. Like, everyone's going to see you as like, oh my god, she just gave up 4 cars. She's going to win. We need to vote her out now. And, of course, if she keeps the car, it's like, oh my gosh, she didn't give up 4 cars. We need to vote her out now. Rafe, I'm looking at you. Yeah, he was the most triggered by that. In fact, everybody was triggered about that except for Stephanie, it seemed like. So, yeah. I mean, it was a lose-lose situation for her. So, I absolutely think she made the right choice. Keep the damn car and run with it. So, yeah, I was happy with Cindy in that choice, that she kept the car. Of course, I mentioned earlier the scumbags. Let's talk about the tribal swap. This tribal swap is one of the weirdest tribal swaps I think I've ever seen. Like, they go to like a Survivor auction-like setting. It wasn't the Survivor auction. More on that later. But, like, they're at a Survivor auction-like setting, and it's like, let's do a questionnaire. Like, who needs a shower? Who needs nourishment? And they just give away, like, free stuff. Like, again, a shower, an apple, like, a picnic. And then, of course, who has the most tribe pride? And then it's like, oh, yeah, you have the most tribe pride, you're going to stay on this tribe. Just that bomb right there. That was a cool tribe swap. It was weird, but it was cool. Very unique. They haven't done anything like that. For the Survivor auction, like, yeah, the Survivor auction, it was alright. It wasn't really anything special. Like, the loved ones visit came into play there. So, yeah, there was that. As for, again, some of the challenges, the one where they're balancing the pot on the head, Jamie talking smack while eating with his old tribe mates. Classic moment. Bobby John calling him out for having no class. And also at the challenge where Bobby John and Jamie got into it, that was the ball rolling challenge that I was talking about earlier. Like, Jamie's tribe just scored, and he got all up in... Bobby John got all up in his face because he was celebrating. Yeah, people were kind of sensitive this season. It was really weird, breaking a lot of unwritten rules and whatnot. Yeah, about as sensitive as the Texas Rangers were after Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a grand slam on them. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But, yeah, anyway, there's not really much else to say about the season as a whole. Like, it's an underrated season. As for some of my negatives, I do think the post-merge was a bit of a drag. It was kind of a pagonging in a way. Like, you saw Brandon get voted out, Bobby John got voted out. That was the post-swap Yasha tribe. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention the Judd versus Margaret thing at the beginning. Judd talking about ADD and all that. That's another reason why he's one of the best characters ever. But yeah, anyway, post-merge, like, it was just kind of a pagonging until it was left with Danny. And then Danny just kind of rided it out till the end. She didn't really do much. I do think she's an underrated player. She had a good relationship with Rafe and Stephanie, and I think that's kind of what helped her get to the end. She also won a very big immunity challenge at the final, final 6, final 7, something like that. Yeah, she won that big immunity challenge after winning the advantage in the auction. You have that one challenge where they're like throwing arrows, the 9 meals and all that. That was cool. Jamie giving up his 4th place meal to go to last place to make up for what he did earlier. But yeah. So that's all there is to say. I do think the post-merge was a bit of a drag. It was kind of predictable. But overall, this was kind of a fun season. It's not one of my favorites. It's not one of my least favorites, but it's a lot of fun. After rewatching it, I think I like it a lot more than I used to, for sure. Like, before, I would give it like maybe a 5 or a 6 out of 10. After rewatching it, I gotta say, it's one of the more underrated seasons, and I kind of enjoy it. So with that being said, it's time to give this season a score. I'm going to give Survivor Guatemala an 8 out of 10. Alright, and there's my review of Survivor Guatemala. If you've seen this season of Survivor, what did you think about it? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think of it. Make sure to hit that thumbs up video if you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for next Wednesday when I review Season 12, Survivor Panama Exile Island. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, I thought Guatemala was underrated. I really did after a rewatch. Like, a lot of people seem to dislike it because it's so forgotten about. But I think it's a season that's definitely worth rewatching and worth remembering. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos to come in the future. And until that next video, once again, my name is the California Cougar. And always remember to stay California cool. Peace!